What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and always a special thanks to Ms. Glenda Mike Taggart, the Senior Manager over Education Programs for the art. And I always mindful that we can learn so much. And whether we have discussions about artificial intelligence, or what Camana Bay ARC, or whether we have discussions with our teachers about utilizing robotics, whether it's the Raspberry Pi program, trying to get students increasingly understanding the importance of math and physics in our classrooms. But to be able to have all that play out in front of us. Miss Glenda. Science comes to life. So good afternoon to you.
Thanks for having us, Sterling. We're really happy to be here. I'm here with one of the teachers from the robotics program, Mr. Jeff from CIS, and I'm also here with 3 of the students from our program.
Well, I'm excited, Mr. Jeff, through you to let me talk to the students, because I think increasingly we are seeing more and more that us, and I won't put you in this category, who are a little bit older, engaging in technology with a sense of reticence and excitement, if that is possible. But our children and students, they just take it up like they were just inhaling. I mean, they love it. So from the educator's perspective, what is not only the exciting thing, but perhaps some of the, if any, some of the challenges and some of the concerns that we may have? Well, wow, we're so much into technology.
Well, it's like when I first started here, I mean, I kind of serendipitously got into the program like 8 years ago when I was working at a previous school, and students, their teacher had left, and I just walked in. It was trial by fire. So a lot of the teachers here experience the same kind of challenges. These kids, they're all like, the program has grown from when we first started here in Cayman 6 years ago. Like, we all had one robot. Right, and now John Gray has 4. We have 4 robots. I mean, my classes are like, I'm lucky. I have classes at CIS, robotics classes in the tech. Like, I got 20 kids in each class. It's right full, and they're all in there engaging, want to learn. Because there's so much they can learn. The programming to just hands-on building. There's so much in the program that every student can get involved with. So, it's really grown. It's challenging to build it and grow it, but it's really worked out. It's great.
One of the things we want to ask of our students is sort of their involvement, excitement, what's their interest. But before we do, as their teacher, there may be a perception from parents and perhaps the wider public, robotics, and back in the day when there was computer classes, that there is, these children and this expectation and that knowledge. I can see Ms. Glenda as the educator still jumping. Before Mr. Jeff jumps in, Ms. Glenda?
Sure. I'd like to, just talk a little bit about the program. So the program is open to all students from both the public and private schools. It's an incredibly inclusive program. So Dart Minds Inspired and our amazing sponsors enable us to give everything to the schools for free, so they don't have to worry about the cost of the program. And so from that standpoint, any student who wants to do robotics can be part of the program. Again, some of the growth that we've seen in the program is even amazing to me. The first year we had probably 6 or 7 kids that were kind of lukewarm in terms of their interest. After we had the first competition, that really sort of drove the interest, and now we've got some schools that have upwards of 50 students in the program. So it really is taking flight. It's a launching pad to a lot of really interesting STEM careers. So building a robot is not only designing it, building it, programming it. It opens the door to things like, students that we've had in past years, biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, and some of those types of career areas, which is really exciting for me.
Right. And I think to what Ms. Glenda shared, Mr. Jeff, that notion that for the student, it was always initially perhaps the perception that it was that math and physics student that would come on board. As I look at our students here, they could easily be football players, swimmers, fashion designers, budding economists. there is no more sort of profile. As Ms. Glenn said, all students. So for that parent who's trying to encourage the child who's thinking, well, I'm not really that keen on this particular subject, do they have to be, or do they just come and they enjoy and embrace?
I mean, the whole program is designed around, there's so many different things you can do. I wish I had more social media people. I mean, we do have social media pages, right? Creativity, right? This robot's got to look aesthetically pleasing, right? I mean, there's obviously building and programming the robot, but there's a lot more underneath the scenes. Like we do engineering manuals, right? Writing, speaking. Right. We do a bunch of outreach around the school where we bring it to like all the younger grades. Right. To me, it's the ultimate sport. I always tell them, it's the ultimate e-sport. You're playing with joysticks, right? You're playing a sport, and you're building towards that in a great competition, right?
But going back to what you said, I know now what you're talking about. It used to be that you looked at technical programs and said, okay, the non-academic kids might be more interested or inclined to that. And the great thing about robotics is it's appealing to both kids that are less academic and students who are extremely academic who want to go into something like biomedical engineering. So it is open to both of those types of students.
And I think we all, at least I'm hoping that's the case for some of us who are a little bit older, we all maybe blossom a little bit later in life. That child at this stage may not demonstrate that propensity for academics only because we've not reached their interest just yet. They come and they have hands-on, they get to see something working because they worked on it. It could spark that interest. So through you, Mr. Jeff, could we start with the students and ask their interests and what attracted them? Do you want to flip a coin and start in the middle, or you want to go from one end to the next?
You flip a coin and start in the middle. I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Well, you go ahead, man. Who would you want us to talk to first?
Well, let's start in Cole's right here. We'll go across it.
You go across?
Yeah.
So we're going to go left to right?
Yeah, Cole.
You okay with that? She's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can go.
I was trying to protect you, my friend, as a swimmer, but no, hey. Cole's. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
What, if any, was that first thing that sort of drew you to want to be a part of the robotics? Was it the cool gadgets? Was it the hairstyle? What was it?
It wasn't my hairstyle.
I was talking about you, right?
I just think that I've always been interested in robotics. My dream job as a kid was to be a robot engineer. So I've just always been interested in the subject. I think my career path probably outside of high school will probably be somewhere in the span of engineering and stuff. So I think it's a good course for me personally.
Wow. See, my dream job as a child was to be an adult. But hey, you got it, bro. No, but this is where that interest, I think, brings us to where we can appreciate the Cayman context. There's so much availability, variety. There's so much accessibility that our children have a lot on that they can benefit from.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. That's one of the beauties of being in a smaller community. If you go to I'm from Canada originally.
Oh, we won't hold against you. Sorry.
But they for the first global they rotate. Each province. Here, these kids get a chance to be in every year they can get in and get started.
I know something to tell you, Miss Glenn, yourself from Canada. She's from Canada too, by way of West Bay.
Exactly.
But that's the fun. We get so much here, and you are right, Mr. Jeff, that we have the opportunity for our children to be a part of something that in many jurisdictions, even in the Caribbean, there are maybe 50 people, 50,000. Other places, there are 5 million or 50 million. We have the opportunity. So continue left to right.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, you can escape unless you want to. The door is to the back.
No escaping.
No escaping. No, man, you've been here before. Talk to us, man.
So I pretty much started off my high school years wanting to be an astronomer. I like space, that kind of stuff. But once I saw the robotics team at John Gray High School, the stuff they were doing, the programming, the building, kind of all drew me in, just ripped the astronomy out of me, and basically placed me into robotics as really interesting. So I really like the building aspects, the engineering, the programming, all those little technical aspects because, I'm a kid. I like doing stuff.
I'm a kid at heart too, man. if it's okay, I'll ask you, and then, as the educators, you guide us. There are times, and I may use the wrong word, but, plug and play. You take a computer now out of the box, and in 2 seconds, it's working. Then there was a time when you needed to do a lot of things to get it to do what you want to do just to turn on. And we bought a new little kitchen gadget, and I'm going, this isn't like the old one. What do I do? Oh, you just press it. It does itself. So that plug and play, or that ability to take it apart and make it do what you want, which one, and how do you find that in terms of developing it as it is and making it do what you want?
Well, in terms of the plug and play aspect, you can kind of relate that to putting the robot together. All the pieces are compatible, they go together well. But in terms of making the robot work, you really need to program it yourself.
Okay.
So you tell that motor to spin at that speed, this motor to spin at that speed when you, for example, click the joystick. It's really very customizable, not necessarily plug and play. You need to program it yourself. You need to see what's behind it and see how it suits your play style, your strategies.
So, before we jump to your phone, can I just ask, looking at the old, I guess we can call products by their names, Lego. When me and Mr. Jeff were younger, you just had pieces and you had to build whatever you could build out of the pieces they didn't have. Now you can buy a kit where if you put it together correctly, it will resemble the picture. There was a US president that said, look at this thing. I did it in 6 months and it said 3 to 5 years. Sorry. Thank you for laughing. So to drink, what about that? I mean, that aspect of it always sort of put together, or the old way where you got pieces and you pull it down. A lot like the old engines of the past, Mr. Jeff, where you put together. How do you find that?
Well, with the robotics program that we're currently doing, it's kind of similar in a sort of way where you're putting stuff together, but there isn't really a predetermined outcome.
Okay.
It's really based on your creativity as a person. If you have like a blueprint or you're working towards a sketch that you have made, you have the aspect of building it and seeing it come out as you want it. Like, for example, the picture.
Okay.
But as you build it, you'll make your little altercations.
Okay.
This looks better. This works better, etc.
I just want to jump in because I have a saying that, and it comes from Dean Cayman, so who's the founder of FIRST, and he always has this saying, there is no manual.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
There's no Lego instructions. So we have a game every year that comes out, and they have to come up with, the first week, they have to come up with a strategy to build the robots for that game. And there's nothing written. There's schools around the world that, are building it in one weekend, and you can take ideas from them, but you're on your own.
You have hacksaws, drills. I mean, this is like, you're learning also life skills when you're building the robot. It's not just connect this piece to this piece and like an instruction sheet. No, it's like a design, then a build, engineering process, test, rebuild, rip apart, start again, right? It's got to do what you need it to do in the game. So it gives the students a lot of opportunities for problem solving, for learning that engineering process.
So before we go into the break, Mr. Paul, okay, sorry, Mom. We usually, not only the best for last, but we say ladies first. But jump into us. So.
I've always been curious about robotics, but I never really took the jump into it because I never had a background in any tech or programming. So I was nervous to join, but when I joined, I was happy that I was able to have a hands-on experience with the robot as a builder and still use my skills and as well as learning new ones with it.
I'm glad that your hands-on experience was much more positive. Mine was just taking it through against, this doesn't work. But yours were more interactive. All right. Miss Glenda, when we come back, the inter-school sort of robotics competition is up. I call it competition. Tournament.
Tournament? Yep.
Competition. Tournament.
It is. It's both.
Both?
Yep.
It's a competitive tournament.
It's an awesome event. That's what I call it.
Yep. This weekend, right, at the ARC?
No. The 4th of February.
That's not this weekend?
Not this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, I still got time then.
The weekend after, yeah.
Hey, I thought it was Friday. I'll be honest with you. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I told someone I'll call and apologize that it was this Saturday. No, it's next Saturday.
Next Saturday. Yeah.
So I'm not late to the game.
No.
All right, so we tell people about it.
Expect to see you there. I know you've attended in past, so
Yeah.
I'm expecting you to be there.
I enjoy it. It's competition, but it's seeing children do something and the success, even when the thing they tried to do didn't work the way they wanted, to see the reward of us having to try.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we have the competition or tournament, whatever you want to call it, is it gives the opportunity for them to showcase their hard work, right? Yeah. And to show us all the teamwork that's gone into actually building it.
So battle the bots without the bruising.
Exactly.
All right. When we come back, we'll tell you more about it. Stay tuned. We'll talk today.
Between the traffic, the meetings, kids' activities, there just isn't enough time. Best Health Pharmacy was a game changer. Not only are they centrally located on Eastern Avenue, but they deliver prescriptions for free anywhere in Georgetown and West Bay. I could not believe it. When my prescription ran out, they ran it back to me. Best Health Pharmacy, located at Crown Square Plaza on Eastern Avenue, across from Edie's Decor, offering free prescription delivery anywhere in Georgetown and West Bay. Call 949-1301 or WhatsApp your prescription to 924-5358. Best Health Pharmacy. Your health, your convenience is their priority.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Savannah Pharmacy, proud sponsor of Talk Today, Cayman's #1 call-in talk program. A new year upon us. Upgraded resolutions. Some things change. Some things linger. When it comes to who you trust, your friendly neighborhood pharmacy, Savannah Pharmacy, is here, where everybody knows your name. Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, just around the corner, with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays.
It's time to update your information. If you've recently changed your mailing address, phone number, or email address, please let your Water Authority customer service team know. Remember, non-receipt of a bill does not constitute a release from liability for payment. Visit our website, www.waterauthority.ky, to download and fill out our customer information update form. Or you can contact our customer service team at info@waterauthority.ky or call 949-2837.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
The MedLab team would like to extend their congratulations to all of the Heroes Day awardees. Thank you for your service.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And as we talk about, now that I've looked at my calendar once again, I probably need assistant from my assistant. It is not this Saturday, okay? We still got time. Saturday the 4th of February, wherever that falls in your calendar. For mine, it's this weekend. Nope, it's next weekend. Yeah. It's a wonderful tournament. So, Ms. Glenda McTaggart, you taking the show?
Sure. So, the tournament is at the Camana Bay ARC, Saturday, February the 4th. It's from 11 to 5, so you don't have to get up too early. And we have teams from John Gray School, Clifton Hunter School, Layman Scott in the Brack, CIS, Cayman Prep, St. Ignatius, Triple C. And so we've got a full lineup of schools this year, and so it's going to be really exciting. We've got some really going to have some interesting competition between some of our bigger schools, so I'm looking forward to that. The one thing I will just also mention is the program doesn't sort of end with this competition. This is the starting point for our Cayman Islands national robotics team. So having competed in this, then students are eligible to be nominated and selected to go on the national team. And we don't know where the competition is going to be yet. They haven't announced it yet, but we're thinking it's probably going to be in Asia this year. So we'll be taking a full lineup of students from representing of all the different schools in that competition. So.
And I know that the last time we went, not only was it a wonderful experience in terms of getting to travel to places, for some students it may have been their first time, and maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the room today we have Tijan, who was part of our national team last year, and Mr. Jeff, who was one of our coaches and mentors, and so they were both in Geneva with the team this year. So the tournament is really kind of the starting point for that secondary program.
Remind me if I'm not mistaken, Miss Glenda, I think when Tijan was here talking about going, did he say he was going to bring back either chocolate or a Rolex for me? What was it he said? Do you remember?
I don't remember the Rolex, but
was it the chocolate?
It might have been the chocolate.
It wasn't for lack of trying. I mean, sure, they were in every watch store.
No, but I said only jokingly because I remember when you were here and the enthusiasm, but the opportunity that many of us probably would have gotten through sport. Now we're doing it through academics and to travel to places to foster that interest. So as we go back around, if I can, and again through the educators to be guided, oftentimes many careers, even in the 21st century, for whatever reason, and I'm sadly it's probably driven by many of us as parents, unconsciously saying to our daughters, well, you do this and not do that. For you, any of that plays in, or you just get into it because it's available? Do you feel that this is only for women or off limits?
No, it's definitely not just for men. In my class we have a couple girls, and we all enjoy robotics together. And this isn't a passion of mine, but I really did enjoy being a part of it this year, and I hopefully will be a part of it next year.
If it's okay again to ask, because I think you just said it, sometimes we need to come with that passion and enthusiasm. Unicorns without question, this is what you like, because some of us like it. Is there something that, whether it's the male student or the female student, whether it's the 3-year-old with enthusiasm or the 13-year-old who's not quite sure, that we can develop that interest and that passion, whether it's robotics or something else? What can we do as parents or even as educators, if it's okay to ask? Because sometimes we're trying, but you like dark chocolate and we're giving you water. Give me the dark chocolate.
I like to say it's a really good opportunity that the schools provide this program with it, which helps drive students who wouldn't normally be a part of it, actually come out and participate. I don't have a say as a parent because I'm not one. But
that's fine. No, that's fine, because I want to ask, and thank you for answering, because I think many times as the teachers, we try to do everything to motivate them, and as parents, but we don't always understand how to do that thing because we just don't. It's
an ongoing problem, right? There are, for us, it's a challenge to get girls interested in robotics. I mean, we do have some that are very passionate about it and have, aspirations for engineering or going on to STEM-related careers. But, the sort of global statistics are usually around, between 20 and 25% of, women in STEM in a lot of those careers. So I think things have improved. I think that the number is growing, but it's growing quite slowly. So, to go back to your question about what can you do to encourage, I think it's just from a young age, rather than perhaps buying the dollhouse, buy the Lego for, for your daughter. Expose them to as many kind of, STEM opportunities as you can. So at least they're getting the exposure. They might not choose to like it or do it, but they're at least getting the exposure. And so I think exposure to, to STEM and having conversations and having, female STEM professionals in their lives. All of those things, I think, help encourage girls in that area.
I mean, I think to the wonderful ladies who are engineers over at the Water Authority or in government or in CUC, and I wonder, and thanks so much for answering that, whether, again, as parents, unconsciously, we don't mean to, but it's just that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the mentors in our program is a female electrical engineer who and she's been on the radio with us previously, and she'll tell you from a young age she was not encouraged to do that. And so it was, through her drive and passion that she ended up, in that field. And now she's very passionate about encouraging girls to consider things like, electrical engineering as a career.
Okay, so as we continue on, teacher, maybe from you, it's okay to say you're the veteran.
Definitely.
Hey, we nominated you. You've accepted the award. To encourage that interest, to inculcate it, but equally to ensure that we as a community, when we come out on the 4th to support. For me, it's like going to any competition, any tournament. It's something to spectate, it's something to celebrate. What would you say to us, the wider public, and to us as teachers and parents in particular?
Well, I think as a wider public and educators, parents, those type of things, you really encourage the children to, go through with this competition, with this type of the way of thinking. It really supports them, gives them motivation, really to do better, and also it could really light a spark in them. Like, if you come out to this competition, you see a lot of people cheering you on. It might just set off something in you. Like, I really like this feeling. I really like this. I want to do this in the future.
Right.
Or, that type of.
It calls to you. I mean, it's not that I want to just ask the question over, but hopefully it'll resonate with us as adults, either educators, policymakers, and as that interest needs to be, as teachers, sparked, nurtured. But we need to come on board to cheerlead. What do we do? How do we help?
I think you, as parents and educators, you can just encourage people to take the opportunity, because I believe it's a very good opportunity to take up, because I don't think anywhere else in your life you're going to get these opportunities as you are as a teenager. So you should just try as many different things and see what you enjoy, so that when you become an adult and you choose your career path, you actually do something you enjoy rather than just making money.
Fair enough. And as we close the discussion, Mr. Jeff, first, your name is Glenn. Share with us as you wish.
I mean, I just hope to get a lot of people to come out. It is, I always tell the students that, they can build in the class all year long for a semester, and until they get to that competition, and, sometimes it's stressful, but it's a lot of fun. They have a couple sayings, cooperation and gracious professionalism as part of the first mantra, right? So it means you're out there trying to win, but you're also helping everybody else out. And so the camaraderie between the teams, between the games is amazing. And to be part of that competition, that's what gets the students to come in. And so it's an amazing experience.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, this year the theme is energized. So it's renewable energy is what the game is focused around. So it's very topical kind of sort of theme this year. So come out, see what the game is. Watch your, cheer on your school, whether it's, the school that you went to or that your kids go to, or, that you just, come out, cheer them on. And, that's really all we're sort of asking for, is just, come out and support the program. One of the things that I'm always sort of talking about is, how do we get these innovative tech programs, into the regular curriculum? And that's something that I've always felt strongly about. There are, a couple of schools now that are, have it in their curriculum. And so, slowly we'll move towards, getting innovation into the classroom. Because at the end of the day, when we think about, sustainable energy and the innovation, whether it's robotics actually building, putting together the solar panels, whether it's the delivery chain, robotics play a part in a lot of sustainable efforts. And so, really and truly, these young people are the next generation of innovators. So we need to be exposing them to that innovation and to these, to these STEM areas like robotics, if we want them to go into those areas of work.
I'm very grateful, and certainly, we can come back on and talk more about the recent return of the trip. We can talk about, after the competition, and hopefully inspire us as the public to spectate, but also to participate, either through a financial support or just providing, an extra pair of hands. It is, at least for me, an enjoyable way to spend part of your afternoon to see the enthusiasm as children educated, or whether you're employing regenerative braking or some sort of compression mechanism to create energy. Who knows what the next innovative, big thing will be.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
On that point about, financial support, I just want to again put out a plug for our, our amazing sponsors. We have CUC, and they provide us with, in addition to monetary sponsorship, a lot of young, vibrant engineers who, work with the students, and so that's a huge help for us. Digicel, REM Re, Health City Cayman Islands, and this year we took on KPMG, as well as the Dart Minds Inspired program. But they're all STEM-based businesses, and they are all passionate about supporting STEM within this country. So thanks again to the amazing sponsorship that we have for this program.
We're growing, as Mr. Jeff said at the outset. Many jurisdictions have many, and we have this opportunity for our children to constantly participate. So thanks to the educators and to the parents in particular who get involved. All right, looking forward to the 4th of February, weekend following.
And it's a free and fun event for families. So, there's not many things you can take your family to that are, that don't cost. And so, again, it's just, come out, cheer on your teams, and see some robots in action.
So is it a tournament or a competition or a competitive tournament? What did you miss, Jeff?
Inter-school. It's an inter-school tournament.
All right.
That's a tough.
Well, ladies and gents, thank you very much for coming in, and hoping that you'll continue to enjoy it and see where this takes you. So looking forward to the next trip. If it's not Geneva the next time, you and I have a talk, okay?
I know. We need to see whether we have any chocolate left that we can,
I tease you.
I'm not sure we have any Rolexes stuff, though. So.
Can you check?
I'll
just
check.
might, right?
Sorry.
No, it's still laughing, but I'm glad you all had a good trip and you made it back safely, and excited to see the next cohort at 10. And God's willing, on the 4th, I see you there to celebrating campaign and champion and cheerlead.
All right.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, to our listeners, if today is not Friday, that means tomorrow must be Thursday, because then therefore it's Wednesday. Well, join the business buzz, but come back for a talk today. We've got a discussion in store for you. But, should we tell you who it is? I might just promote that later. But you're going to be informed, so stay tuned for all the music, and see us tomorrow.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman,
The voice.
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.